Hi boys and girls, today we're going to be doing our last and final video on decimals. This is dividing decimals by decimals. You should find the last and only empty page in your notes to be writing on. So let's go and copy down all of our steps to dividing by a decimal. You can either pause video and write all these steps down, or you can go to the image that I have posted as well and you guys can write the steps that way. But either way, make sure you write down these steps at the bottom of your notes page. As soon as you've done that, come back to the video and we're going to move on to an example problem right now, going through the steps with an example. So what I need you guys to be doing is up at the top, we're going to go through all of these together. So if I have 10.5 as my first number, so that's my dividend, which goes inside the house. So I'm going to put 10.5 or 10 and 5/10 inside the house. My second number is called the divisor, so that's going to go outside of the house. So I rewrote the problem. That's step one, done. Let's put a check mark there. Now it says in step 2, I need to move the decimal point in the divisor, that's the number outside the house, that's my 0.5, to the right to make it into a whole number. So when I do this, I need to take this decimal point that's right here, I'm going to need to move it to make it into a whole number. So if I move it one time over, now my decimal point becomes right there. So I now have the whole number of 5 outside the house. Then I need to move the decimal point on the dividend, which is my inside number, to the right the same number of places. So I move my decimal over one time in the divisor, so I'm going to move my decimal point over one place in my dividend as well. So now my problem has become 105 divided by 5. Because I moved the decimal place the same number of places over one to the right in both the problems, that keeps my problem the same because I just shifted everything over by 1. So now I'm going to divide as usual. So my decimal point is going to come straight up from the dividend into the quotient. From here, I'm just going to do my division like I was doing yesterday now. How many times can 5 go into 1? It can't go in at all, so I'm going to put the 0. 5 times 0 is 0. 1 minus 0 is 1. Bring down that 1. How many times can 5 go in to 10? It can go into it 2 times. So 5 times 2 is 10. Subtracting, I get a 0. Even though I have a 0 here, I'm not done yet with the problem. I can't stop just because I end up with a 0. I have this 5 that still needs to be brought down. How many times can 5 go into 5? 1 time. Subtract the 5. I end up with 0. Since there's no other numbers to be brought down, now I know I'm done with the problem. So the answer to 10.5 divided by 0.5 equals 21. What I want you guys to do now, just as we normally do, is you guys are now going to do a problem by yourself, and then you're going to check your answer with me. A little bit more digits here going on, so what I need you guys to do is to copy this problem down your notes, putting the first number in the house and the second number out of the house, and then let's check back and see if you get it right or not. So hopefully you have solved the problem by now. Pause the video if you have not. Again, I'm going to take that first number, my divisor, and I'm going to write that inside the house. I'm sorry, my dividend goes in the house. I apologize there. First number, dividend in the house. Second number, divisor, and that's going to go out of the house. So 2 numbers written down. Now again, you need to be moving the decimal point in the divisor, which is the 0.06. I need to keep moving the decimal point until I make it a whole number. If I move the decimal place over once, I have 0.6. That's not a whole number, so I need to move it over one more time. So my decimal point is now moved over once, twice to get that 0.06 into a 6. I need to move the decimal place over 2 times in my dividend as well. So I'm going to move it over 1 time, 2 times. So now I have 32.7. It's okay if the number inside the house is still have a decimal in it. Just my number outside the house has to be turned into a whole number. The number in the dividend does not have to be a whole number. From here, I'm going to go through my steps of division. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my decimal point straight up into my quotient, my answer. I'm going to start my multiplication or my division now. How many times can 6 go into 0? 0 times. How many times can 6 go into 3? 0 times as well. So I'm going to go through, do my subtraction, bring down my 2. How many times can 6 go into 32? 5 times. 6 times 5 is 30. Do my subtraction again. Bring down my 7. How many times can 6 go into 27? 4 times. 6 times 4, 24. I'm left with a 3. I can't have a remainder, so as we learned yesterday, I got to make sure I put this extra 0 there and bring down the 0. How many times can 6 go into 30? 5 times. So now I'm finally left with my remainder of 0, and there's no other numbers to bring down. I hope that you got 5 and 45/100ths as your answer as well. That's it for our decimal chapter videos. Hope you've enjoyed doing our class this way. See you tomorrow for some fun with math in class.